Learning theories. Learning theories focus on increasing employee motivation and performance by linking outcomes that employees receive to the performance of desired behaviors and the attainment of their goals. Learning can be defined as a relatively permanent change in a person's knowledge or behavior that results from practice or experience. Learning takes place in organizations when people learn to perform certain behaviors to receive certain outcomes. For example, a person learns to perform at a higher level than in the past or to come to work earlier because he or she is motivated to obtain the outcomes that result from these behaviors, such as a pay raise or praise from a supervisor. Tough economic times can sometimes push people to learn new skills and behaviors so that they can keep their jobs and help their companies do better. Two learning theories are operant conditioning theory and social learning theory. They provide the most guidance to managers as they strive to have a highly motivated workforce. Let's take a look at social learning theory. Social learning theory suggests that motivation results not only from directly receiving rewards or punishments, but also from what a person thinks and believes. Social learning theory extends operant conditioning's contribution to managers' understanding of motivation by explaining 1. How people can be motivated by observing other people performing a behavior and being reinforced for doing so, or vicarious learning. 2. How people can be motivated to control their behaviors themselves, or by self-reinforcement. And 3. How people's beliefs about their ability to successfully perform a behavior affect motivation, or self-efficacy. Vicarious learning, which is often called observational learning, occurs when a person or the learner becomes motivated to perform a behavior by watching another person or the model performing the behavior and being positively reinforced for doing so. Vicarious learning is a powerful source of motivation on many jobs in which people learn to perform functional behaviors by watching others. Salespeople learn how to help customers, medical school students learn how to treat patients, law clerks learn how to practice law, and non-managers learn how to be managers, in part by observing experienced members of an organization perform these behaviors properly and then be reinforced for them. In general, people are more likely to be motivated to imitate the behavior of models who are highly competent, are to some extent experts in that behavior, have high status, receive attractive reinforcers, and are friendly or approachable. To promote vicarious learning, managers should strive to have the learner meet the following conditions. The learner observes the model performing the behavior. The learner accurately perceives the model's behavior. The learner remembers the behavior. The learner has the skills and abilities needed to perform the behavior. And the learner sees or knows that the model is positively reinforced for the behavior. Although managers are often the providers of reinforcement in organizations, sometimes people motivate themselves through self-reinforcement. People can control their own behavior by setting goals for themselves and then reinforcing themselves when they achieve those goals. Self-reinforcers are any desired or attractive outcomes or rewards that people can give to themselves for good performance, such as a feeling of accomplishment, going to a movie, having dinner out, buying a new CD, or taking out time for a golf game. When members of an organization control their own behavior through self-reinforcement, managers do not need to spend as much time as they ordinarily would trying to motivate and control behavior through the administration of consequences because subordinates are controlling and motivating themselves. In fact, this self-control is often referred to as a self-management of behavior. Self-efficacy is a person's belief about his or her ability to perform a behavior successfully. Even with all the most attractive consequences or reinforcers hinging on a high performance, people are not going to be motivated if they do not think that they can actually perform at a high level. Similarly, when people control their own behavior, they are likely to set for themselves difficult goals that will lead to outstanding accomplishments only if they think they can reach those goals. Thus, self-efficacy influences motivation both when managers provide reinforcement and when workers themselves provide it. The greater the self-efficacy, the greater is the motivation and performance. Verbal persuasion, such as a manager expressing confidence in employees' ability to reach a challenging goal, as well as a person's own past performance and accomplishments, and the accomplishments of other people, plays a role in determining a person's self-efficacy.